Mm.
And you wouldn't say this because you're really humble, Daniel, but to reach the level of success, remember, ego's the enemy.
Ego's the enemy. That's it.
I was testing you.
Yeah, that's
But
This
can you
is
talk
true.
a little bit about how I guess, when were you called into music and how did ORU help in that
Wow.
transition into, because eventually going on to be a professional musician? How'd that,
Man,
all that?
that's a great question. I loved music since I was, according to my mom and my mom's stomach. Like, they would go to concerts and I'm loving what I'm hearing. I don't know what I'm hearing, but I'm loving it. So when I was born, I was constantly hitting on things and playing things and trying to sing, trying to dance, anything artistic I was in. My parents had the awareness of mine enough at their age to be like, let's just give him what he wants to do and to see what lands. So whether it was sports, whether it was dance, whether it was music, and I ended up doing all of those things for a long time. And music was always the thing that came natural. Which is a dangerous word because sometimes when things come naturally, we won't work hard to go, past that, which comes way later in my life. It just came naturally. Like, I was naturally good at music. Then I got training in middle school and high school, elementary school through high school. And a lot of people from my hometown. So I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, which from Nashville is 10.5 hours east. So it's literally in the middle between, Nashville's in between my hometown and Tulsa, which I think is very ironic. I haven't moved between that 800 mile,
just kind of like
that straight line. Lane. I've only lived, boom, over there and then in the center, which I'm fine with.
There you go.
A lot of people from my hometown, 1 year, just all went to ORU. And we grew up, where Virginia Beach is, it's a great beach town. It's a great place to raise a family, honestly.
Yeah.
Interesting people, but good people. And some bad, but that's everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we have the beach, the mountains are an hour away, the countryside's right there. Right. Why in the world are you leaving this place? I thought it's paradise. I'm 15.
For sure, yeah.
They all leave. It's like, it felt like 30 of them. It was probably like 10. And it just caught my attention. And then that's when they went through their financial scandal. So what they started doing, I don't know if you were around for this, because did your parents go to ORU?
No, but I did an internship with a lot of people that did go to ORU. So I heard some history, but I didn't experience it.
Yeah. So when that broke, they started doing like a tour around their heavy alumni areas. So they came to Virginia Beach, and I went with my family and my family's friends who were ORU alums.
Yeah.
And they just went, hey, we messed up. Here are our plans in place. Who we're going to, just mapped everything out. And at 15, 16, I went, that's tight.
Yeah.
That they would do that. It's pretty cool. So again, lots in the back of my mind, because in my mind I'm going, why would I leave the East Coast? It's paradise. That's also all I've known. Also very dangerous. But so in my mind, I wanted to be close to paradise. I want to be close to what was happening. There was a girl I was really into, all high school things. I'm like, I need to be close. I love my family. I was like, I'm not trying to go far away. Liberty University seemed like the greatest candidate for all this.
Right.
Went for a weekend called CFAW, College for a Weekend.
Right.
Had a great time. With my friends, we were all really great friends at the time. We just had a blast, all this stuff. And the girls were really pretty. This is important to note. The girls were really pretty. And I was 16 and I went, wow. I feel the Lord's calling me to Liberty University.
Like every good high school student looking for a college.
Absolutely. But that was not the Lord. That was something else. I went with my mom too. And I was like, Mom, I think I tried to spiritualize this, right? Mom, I feel like I'm called to ORU. All the buzzwords that are
Yep.
real that can be abused poorly, that have been abused poorly, right?
Yeah.
She goes, well, she wasn't sold on Liberty at all. But she goes, okay, if you feel that way, great. But we already have ORU booked next month, so let's just go. And I'm like, no, cancel it. What are we doing? Like, Liberty's my spot. We end up going to ORU, and it literally blew my mind away. It rocked my socks off.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I actually heard the word of the Lord for the first time in my life. You're going to this college.
Wow.
It's only happened twice. Like my version of audible voice, because we all have different versions of that.
Yeah.
It's usually just like it's either gut or in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes logic, but that was the first. We were playing with it. They were playing with everything. The Lord was like, "This is the spot." I'm getting emotional thinking about it
Wow.
because that was it.
Yeah.
A year later, went out for a scholarship program thing. Didn't get it, but I brought my dad and my brother with my mom this time, and they were like, "Hey, whatever we got to do to get you here, man, this is it."
Come on.
So fast forward another year, so 2 years from that experience during With Everything, encountering the Lord and seeing and hearing clearly, I move in 2010, and it was just everything changed.
Yeah.
So this is a long story. I apologize.
No, go for it. This is awesome.
I still want, so I majored in music technology, which is basically just sound design, sound engineering on every capacity. You can still be a player. You can produce. Like it was just kind of that thing. I got to ORU. I wasn't on the worship team when I got there. A buddy, who's still a buddy of mine, he was just like, "Hey, our drummer dropped. Can you play?" And I had to go through this process, and then I joined, and I had a chip on my shoulder because, I was really, and the sphere I was in Virginia, I was known pretty well. Excuse me, but what I did. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, this is the pre-dinner burps. Still waiting. My stomach's like, "Will you give us food or not?"
Yeah. I'm gonna remind you I'm here.
Yeah, like knock, knock, knock.
Go down here.
Just so we're here. We're out here. I had a chip on my shoulder. So no one wants to admit that they have an ego and pride issue. No one.
Right.
Especially if you're told that you're humble all the time. Such was my case in this. So I thought because of the success I had from 10 till 17, that 18-year-old me can play on this chapel stage with these musicians I've never heard, with all this stuff.
Right.
I play. So what did it was a rehearsal, and it did not go well. And my buddy now, he wasn't a buddy then, Ryan Woods, he hopped on and he was like, "Hey, it should probably go like this." So kind, but just crushed it. And I went, I have so much to learn. Like actual humility happened. So when you ask, what did ORU do for my music? It started the centering of my character.
Wow. Huge.
And moving to Nashville was that as well. The next level in that. But man, ORU was the, "Hey kid, you're not as good as you think you are. That's okay." The problem, which a pastor in Tulsa told me this right before I left, his name is Giles Smith. He goes, "Gifting without character will kill you."
Whew.
Gifting without character will kill you. So when I get to Tulsa, I had a lot of gifting, but because there were certain character traits that were not awoken yet, we're not given space to breathe and to grow. The evolution of this life in God, right?
Right.
It almost took me out. I'm thankful that I had the awareness of mind at 18 to be like, I need to be available to learn from these people who I know I can play better than them. That's what I said. So even I'm going to be available, but I can crush any of these people. Over time, all 4 years, that just got knocked down more and more and more and more and more and more until man, they would ask me to play. They would ask me to play. They're like, "Man, we love when you play. Like, it means a lot we love what you bring," affirming my gifting and my character and God in me. Right. And I got to a point with ORU where that didn't let my head swell. It did when I moved here because it was exactly how it was when I moved from Virginia to ORU. It was the same jump. But I'm thankful. Like, so make us, as my buddy says, to make us a long story semi-long. ORU and my relationship with them in music, it brought centeredness and humility and grounding that if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be married to this girl. I wouldn't have this job.
Wow. Because
it happened again. Like I joined for King and Country. I'm playing drums. I'm 25, fresh 25. I remember I played my third show with them on my 25th birthday, and I was crying my eyes out because I was just like, it's happening. I can't believe it. And every night they're like, man, we're so glad you're here, but you're not doing this right, this right, this right, this right, this right, this right, this right. You got to fix this. I've never had a laundry list that long ever. And I've been playing for years at that point. And everyone's been like, you're great. We love your heart. We love what you bring. Even at the churches in Nashville that I was playing with before I joined. So I felt the same, oh, this doesn't end.
Yeah, wow.
This doesn't end at all.
Because you would think at that point, the laundry list would have just been...
You would think. Here's the crazy part. Sometimes for some people it does because they get it. They just get it. They just know I'm always going to be teachable. I have not arrived. I don't get it. And I'm just going to be available. That's one. Two, you have people who just walk in and naturally crush it. And they're good people. And you can't be like, wow.
You can't be mad about it. You're like, God,
shoot.
So cool though.
Exactly. You're like, who I want to be when I grow up, and you're younger than me. You know what I mean? That's another class of people. Then you have the next class, which is what us normally live in, which we sadly live in, is we go, I have all this success here. This is not working out. I'm not called to do this. And I felt that tug early on. I remember getting a call from Luke, and he was like, hey man, we're down a member. We're going to get another one. Like Teddy just left, who's the drummer now. Yeah. Teddy just left Family Force 5, and we're going to ask him to play. And he was so kind. He was not like, it's not because you're not doing enough. Like, we see you working hard. We want to honor that. We need another member, and we know you play other instruments and you're available. And in that moment, I had the choice. And he gave me an out. He goes, man, if you don't want to do this because you want to be a drummer, I respect that. You do that. Like, please do. But like, just think on it. And I knew that I needed to submit to what they were doing. I knew it wasn't going to be forever because nothing we do is forever. That's unfair. Right. But I knew for the foreseeable future, I'm locked in on Joel and Luke's vision. I'm locked in on what this is doing, regardless if I'm playing what I want to play. Right. That was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And here's the even more crazy part. I had to come back to that over and over and over and over and over. Yep. Oh, we're here too and over. It doesn't stop because old nature, ego, whatever you want to call it. I'm rereading a book called Ego's the Enemy that my wife read for her business, and it's kicking my butt. Because chapters are entitled, Don't Be Passionate, The Disease of Me, Work, Work, Work. And it's just like, hey, this is not a Christian dude, by the way, but this guy is literally going, like, in everything, ego's the enemy. Success, ego's the enemy. Like, you have like this innocent, I read a chapter today that goes, it's called the innocent, Pat Riley called it the innocent climb. So the Lakers and the Heat were like, they were grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. And then they hit, and then they were like, oh, we got this. Yep. We're here. And he calls, and so then he coined the downfall of the disease of me because they went, oh, we got here on our own. That's the ego. And as believers and kids of God, that thing freaking has to die every day. That's the taking up our cross and following the Lord and following Jesus. Yeah. That is so hard. Yeah. That's the hardest thing on the planet.